How's it going? So today I wanted to make a video kind of going over the games that I've been playing this past month and just give my thoughts on the games that I'm currently playing, the games that I've completed, and the games that I'm about to start up. So the big game that I guess I got through this month was Deltarune. And if you don't know what Deltarune is, it's made by the same creator of Undertale, which is an indie game. And if I had to, I wouldn't necessarily call Deltarune an indie game, but I guess if you looked at it just based on the art style, I guess you could assume it's a bit of an indie game. But I think just going off of the story and the characters and the music, the way everything's kind of packaged together, for me, it creates like a experience that is probably better than most AAA games that are out currently and that have been releasing over the past couple of years. And I do think you can look at Undertale and consider that more of an indie game, just because it's a bit shorter. And I guess compared to Deltarune, it's a bit more simplistic in terms of mechanics. But when it comes to Deltarune, I think there's 5 chapters out currently, and I spent, I think, almost nearly like 30 hours just getting through all 5 of those chapters. And I would say so far, even though the whole story isn't completed, from what I've played, I've really enjoyed it. The story has been engaging, the characters have been fun, and the music's always just a big part of, I guess, it's a special skill that Toby has when it comes to Undertale and now Deltarune. So I might make a more in-depth video on just going over why I enjoyed the game so much, but that's just my little brief on the game that I have completed in the month of August. And now the games that I'm currently playing right now, I'm currently playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, so the remastered version on PS5. Alongside that, I'm playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which came out a couple weeks ago, and then I'm also playing Celeste. And just to cover each one quickly, Ninja Gaiden Black, like I said, it's pretty much a remaster of the second Ninja Gaiden game. If you played the original, you kind of already know how it plays and pretty much how fun it is. The combat's fun, it's very quick, it is a bit gory, especially with the updated graphics. I don't necessarily play the Ninja Gaiden games for the story, it's more for the gameplay. There's a bunch of different weapons you can use. Like I said, it's very fluid in terms of the combos you can do. I'm currently on chapter 10, and I think there might be 18 chapters, so hopefully I can get that one done, and then hopefully I can make a review on that. And like I said, alongside that, I'm playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which I guess I would call it more of an indie game. Basically, just more classical take on the Ninja Gaiden series. It's not like a 3D game, it's more like a side scroller or like a beat 'em up. It is very fast paced. Honestly, I would say Ragebound is more difficult than the actual 3D Ninja Gaiden game that I'm currently playing. That's probably just because I played more of the 3D Ninja Gaidens than the Ninja Gaidens that came out on the older Nintendo systems. So trying to get used to these mechanics on the 2D Ninja Gaiden, it's taken longer for me to get used to them. But once you get used to them, you can really string together some good gameplay. You can kind of like bounce off of enemies. Most enemies you can kill in like one hit. So it's very fast paced. Like I said, story, there's not much to it, but it's a fun game, and if you just have a few minutes to spare, then it's good to just sit down and play like a level or two and call it a day. And then the third game I'm currently playing is Celeste, and it's basically a platformer, and this game is also pretty skill-based. I'm not really good at it, but you can definitely get good at it, and this is definitely a kind of game where you can speedrun it. There's not like enemies or anything, it's more just like a platformer where there's like levels and you kind of have to jump around and dash and avoid obstacles. If you ever played Super Meat Boy, then that's probably the best thing I could compare it to. The best thing, in my opinion, about this game is probably the music. It's definitely has a good soundtrack, so if you enjoy games with good music, then I would definitely recommend that. It is a game where you're probably going to die a lot and make mistakes, but that's kind of the point with these games. You kind of like fail and then learn from it. And then the most recent game that I'm playing it's actually a PS3 game, and it's Metal Gear Rising. And this is a game that I was interested in picking up just because I saw gameplay of it, and I have never actually played any of the other Metal Gear games, like any of the old school ones or even the Metal Gear Solid ones. I do have them, I just I just haven't played them for some reason, because I know that they are long games, specifically the Metal Gear Solid games. And with the recent release of Metal Gear Delta, which is just like a remaster, or I guess like a remake of Metal Gear 3, I kind of do want to get through the original Metal Gear Solid games so that I can, well, I kind of want to pick up Metal Gear Delta, but I'm hearing it's having performance issues, so I might wait later in the year or next year to pick it up, just so some of those performance issues could get fixed. But when it comes to Metal Gear Rising, it is a fun game. It's a bit like Ninja Gaiden. I guess like the one mechanic that stands out is, I forgot what it's called, but you kind of like slow down time, and then you can kind of chop your enemies into tiny bits, which sounds a bit weird, but that's how the video game is. And it is a hack and slash game, so if you like games that are a bit more fast paced in terms of combat, then I would recommend that game. The story so far has been interesting. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but it is enough to keep my interest. But most of these games I'm currently playing right now are very much more just for the gameplay. So those are the games I'm currently playing. I guess to quickly touch on, one game that I keep picking up and like dropping is Death Stranding. And when it comes to Death Stranding, it's a bit of a weird game, and I can see how people can dislike it or not really get hooked by it. And I am one of those people who, I don't dislike it, but it hasn't really hooked me yet. I think I'm like 6 hours into it, and the gameplay in terms of using vehicles and a bit more combat, it is starting to open up a bit. And the story, the story is very interesting, and that's probably what keeps me wanting to go back to it. But just in terms of the length of the game, I have been playing shorter games just so I can, I don't really spend that much time playing games. Probably like, if I do play games on a certain day, it's probably just for an hour or two, and I don't really play too much during the week just because I don't always feel like it. So when it comes to Death Stranding, it's one of those games where I do really have to be in that mindset of like, I'm gonna sit down and devote time to playing this game, because some cutscenes can be like, they can feel like 20 minutes, honestly, and it's like, I'd rather be playing the game, but at the same time, it's weird because it's like, I'm playing the game more for the story, so it's like, why am I complaining about the cutscenes when that's the reason I'm playing the game? But at the same time, it is a video game, so I would like a bit more balance between the gameplay and the cutscenes. But that's Death Stranding, and Death Stranding 2 has released, so that's why I do want to complete this game so that I could play the second one. It's like, you could be asking like, why are you playing Death Stranding if you're not fully enjoying it? And it's like, because I feel like it's one of those games where if I get far enough into it, then I'll get it and I'll understand why so many people do like it. But at the same time, I'd rather be playing games that I can enjoy with the time that I do have, and not have to wonder if it's going to take a while for me to actually get into them. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. That's pretty much what I've been playing for this month, and this is my first video after I think 40 days of not uploading, so I decided to make something a bit more simple. I do have other videos planned, but I just haven't necessarily got to them. I do have like the thumbnails made and everything, but in terms of recording them, I just haven't got to it. But hopefully I can get to that soon. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you watched it, I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for watching.